Hey, everybody. I got a silly question the other day. Is too much income in retirement a problem? Of course it is. Who would ever want too much income in retirement? Really? So let's think about this a little bit. In this scenario, 60,000 Social Security, 40,000 pension, but they're reaching that required minimum distribution phase, and now they have 50,000 in required minimum distributions. So that's 150,000 worth of income. Do the tax return on it. They owe about 14,000 in taxes, and the breakdown is here. Only 85% of the Social Security is taxable. Pension and IRA withdrawals, required distributions, those are all 100% taxable. This year, 2023, we're going to have a $27,700 standard deduction, plus both of them are over 65, another 3,000. So there's 110,000 taxable income. First 22,000, they paid 10%. Then they paid 12%, and a big chunk of it, 20,000 of it, they paid 22%. Okay, what's the problem? Looks good to me. I don't see any problem with that. The problem was that they said, yeah, but we only spend about 100,000 a year. And now we take a look at this and go, well, if we only had the Social Security and the pension, which is $100,000, that was funding their life before required minimum distributions, they were paying much less in taxes. Right? That's where the huge difference is, because the majority of that extra 50,000 worth of income was taxed at 22%, which in a few years is going to be 25%, an additional 3% in taxes. And we're just talking federal. Depending on the state you're in, you may have issues there as well. So what boils down to be quite inefficient for these people, okay? Inefficient means they're paying a bunch of taxes that they really didn't need to pay in retirement. It actually equated to about $8,000 they threw away in extra taxation because they were forced to take income that they didn't actually need. So of course you can have too much income in retirement, right? So some of the things you have to think about, okay? We all want to be efficient. We don't like paying more taxes than we had to. Okay. Most of us are okay paying the minimum that we have to pay, but we don't want to pay a penny more, right? So we got to make sure when we look at our retirement, we keep an eye on the big picture, because a lot of people lose sight of the future ahead of them and maybe don't work on that IRA to reduce that IRA money so they don't have as big of a required minimum distribution. Okay, so create enough guaranteed income to pay your base living expenses. We don't need to buy all these guaranteed income products that are out there just so we can have more income. I know sometimes it feels good, but it can be extremely wasteful and very inefficient in a portfolio. Okay, savings is there to supplement that income for the fun stuff and the emergencies, thus only creating the taxation on the money we needed to enjoy our retirement, which is what we should be okay with. I mean, we always want to pay less, but we certainly don't want to pay taxes on stuff we didn't need. Okay, so the other side of this is being proactive with that IRA money. If you are under required minimum distribution age, you need to have a plan from day one of retirement to required minimum distributions. We should always be laser focused on that IRA money and how can we get it out at the least amount of taxation possible. For some people, that means delaying Social Security so you can pull more IRA money out earlier in retirement and pay less taxes. And if you didn't need it, you can always convert it to Roth. Okay, so it's important that we look at the big picture. We don't look at the right here and right now until we have a very clear big picture. Look at the road, look at the roadmap that leads you to those required distributions. Look at how much income we know we need, plus then the fund money on top of that, okay? An enjoyable retirement has balance between that income that pays that bill and that savings to cover the fun stuff and the emergencies. So we got to make sure that we have that balance and that we don't get too lopsided on one side or the other, because if we do, then we end up creating excess taxation that we didn't really need to pay. Okay. Hopefully that helps see a little bit different side of that picture. I know a lot of people would love to have more income in retirement, but sometimes it's too much and sometimes it becomes wasteful. Your heirs would rather have that money than giving it to Uncle Sam, right? I think we all would prefer that. Even if you don't have heirs, I'm sure there's a niece or a nephew or a charity you'd rather give it to than throw it away in taxes. Let us know if we have any other questions you come up with. I love feedback on this stuff. I get ideas from you guys on the comments and everything else. I'm always happy to create a video on any question that somebody has. So shoot us an email or make a comment below. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We keep getting new subscribers is what helps feed this and keep it going. So I'm going to keep adding videos if you keep subscribing and sharing them with friends, and it's been going great so far. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.